have 7 people waiting. Sorry. I didn't know. I thought it.
Ma'am, I can't have people leaping up to do that. I can call the cases in one order. Where's her case? Jesus. Just please.
There is no attorney on.
Thank you, Anna. I have a 4 o'clock meeting. I can my tenants is online on the Zoom. We have pretty easy things, so can we go for it? I have 4
I know, and everybody's got some place to be, ma'am.
I have 7 people waiting. Sorry. I didn't know. I thought it.
Ma'am, I can't have people leaping up to do that. I can call the cases in one order. Where's her case? Jesus. Just please.
There is no attorney on either side on her matter. She is the plaintiff. So she is right here.
Miss Anna, I don't hope you don't. Lynn King versus Brandon Howe. Brown.
Yes, I'm here.
I appreciate it so much.
Well, don't appreciate it, but don't ever do it again.
This is ever.
Don't ever do it again.
Okay, I got it.
Where are we on this case?
I have a settled plan with the Hawk, with Brandon, and the Hawk has a written letter regarding to the payment plan. Do you want to see it?
Amy, can you tell me what's going on with this?
Your Honor, I can offer that they're working with Alicia. There's a $3,000 payment that is expected to be requested on the 26th. Once the client has made half of the installments, there's some sort of payment plan that's been worked out with the client and the landlord.
So they're going to pay, the tenant's going to pay everything, half at least of that by the 26th of what's left.
And that's
Then
when the
there'll be the
$3,000.
request for the 3,000. Okay,
Next
I got
Friday.
you.
Okay.
Do you have that in the form of a conditional order of dismissal then, ma'am?
I'm sorry, what's your question?
A conditional order of dismissal.
I don't.
What lays out the agreement?
The total is $3,305, and I waived him $305. So if he can pay off on the 26th of April for May.
So you've waived, it's $3,305. You waived the 305.
Yeah,
Hawk's gonna pay 3,000.
yeah,
Hawk knows that you're waiving the 305?
Yeah.
Did you know that, Amy?
I don't, so I would request an updated ledger be sent to Alicia if Miss King
gotta
is in
send an
touch with Alicia.
You gotta send an updated ledger. I'll adjourn this matter out to the 26th, 2024 at what time? At 11 a.m. You guys get your paperwork together and I'll be able to call the case. Thank you.
thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Hamilton Crossing 1 versus Emily McKinney. Hello,
Hi,
what's your name?
Emily McKinney.
All right. And I had 1335 last time we were here.
I have 1336.
Okay. So a dollar got over. Okay. So how were you intending on getting that paid, ma'am?
So when I seen the judge last, I filled out for the SCR and I've submitted the proof through email to the courts on Tuesday to let them know. And then I spoke with my DHS worker and she said, she communicated with CMA, they paid partial of my rent and it's based off my income. And since I lost my job, CMA sent me a packet last week that I sent right back, to adjust my rent. It's supposed to be at 0. But, DHS is processing my SCR packet.
So your rent's supposed to be 0.
Oh, well, I lost my job back in,
No, I got you, but your rent's supposed to be 0. is what
moving
you-
forward, yes,
Moving forward.
yes.
Okay, so how's this 1336?
They're processing the SCR packet, but she was waiting for my rent to be adjusted
But-
so they could process the application.
But the SER isn't gonna cover this entire amount.
Why not?
It's not what they do. I mean, I don't
They gonna
think
cover a portion of it.
they would cover a portion of it, but then the other part of it needs
I'm
to
gonna
be
borrow it from
paid.
my sister, yeah.
Okay, So how much are you gonna be able to pay?
Well, I wouldn't know until they tell me how much they're gonna cover.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be I'm just,
No, I know you're not trying to be difficult. I'm trying to figure out a way to make this work without giving you a judgment. But
what, CMA said they will have my rent adjusted within 14 days. And
okay, but are they going to adjust?
no, they're not going
April?
back. No, they're not adjusting nothing I owe now.
Pardon?
They're not going back to adjust nothing I owe.
They're not adjusting April.
No. I don't know why, but no, I was not working in April.
Well, hold it. When did you stop working?
Can I look at my phone? So I can-
Sure.
I got fired on, what's this? They don't even have a date on here for termination. I want to say in March. End of March, I got fired.
Okay, and then, so you didn't have income for April. So I don't know why they're not adjusting for April.
I don't know either.
Here's what I'm thinking. At most, I mean, they may come, I'm just ballparking it. I'm not giving an exact figure. You're gonna get about 500 or so from SER if we're
Mhm.
lucky. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're still gonna then be about 800 short.
Okay.
Okay. So making certain assumptions that, and we might be wrong on this, but your May rent is gonna be zero.
Hmm.
Okay, let's say you get the 500 from SER, right? I'm gonna be 800 short.
Okay.
So without giving you a judgment today, I'd have to try to figure out how much you can pay because we're gonna be short.
Okay.
Okay, so how much do you think you can borrow from your sister?
Whatever is left from the,
Okay, I know you told me that. So let me ask you this, okay? Because I got to deal with numbers here.
okay.
Can you get 800 from your sister?
Mhm.
You can?
But not today.
Okay,
I'm
so,
a surgeon. She's a doctor in Atlanta. She's
Pardon?
busy. She's a doctor. I probably won't be able to contact her till Friday next week. She in
Ne-
surgery all this week.
next Friday?
Hmm. To talk to her.
Well, do you think by next Friday you can get 800 from her?
Um, how many days is that? That's a
That's 7 days.
no. Can I get 2 weeks to come up with 800?
If I knew that your rent was at zero, I would have no problem doing that.
No, it
I don't
really-
have anything saying your rent is zero.
Oh, but can y'all let them know that I stay in the income base? It's only right that they.
I know, ma'am,
Oh, you know what Hamilton Crossing is?
pardon?
You know what that is?
What, income-based housing?
No,
Yeah,
that's where I
'cause I've been doing
stay.
this for about 30 years. I get it. I get the whole thing.
Oh, they have to put it as, I don't got no income. They gonna have to put it as zero.
I just messaged my client and they have not received a notification from CMA yet.
Who?
Hamilton Crossing.
Why would they? I just sent them the letter. It said, I told, it take 2 weeks to process the rent
Okay.
adjustment. I
All right,
just sent it back. I sent it off a couple days.
Ma'am, follow me here.
Okay.
All right. We're sitting here right now on the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to do is I'll give you time to get everything straight,
Thank you.
but I can't do that if I'm not sure of certain things.
Okay.
So one of the things I would need to be sure of is that your rent is zero, because that way then it's not gonna get the amount that you owe isn't gonna get any worse.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
but I don't have that.
Or can you give me time to get
So-
it from CMA? They said it should take anywhere from 7 business days to 10. It's been 5 already that I gave them the proof that I've been fired.
So you think CMA will have an answer by next week?
Yes, they have need time to process it.
Okay.
That's what they told me.
Okay, but look. Here's the thing. I'm just trying to save your housing here.
Please.
Okay, I know, but you gotta help me. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're gonna borrow the money
Mhm.
to get that gap filled, right? I need you to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so that you gotta do that as soon as you can. Because then I can say to the landlord, okay, we're gonna wait because she's got this zero rent, hopefully for May. She's got this SER, if they come up with 500, but even if they come up with 3, I'm only 200 short at that point. Okay, you see what I'm trying to do?
Mhm.
Okay, but you gotta do your part on it,
Okay.
okay? And so your part's gonna be this, that you have to get that 800. Now, if you gotta call your sister, if that's where you're gonna borrow it. Okay, there's gonna be an answer hopefully from CMH coming. Or not CMH, but CMA coming on next week, if you did it 5 days ago, right? So I'm going to adjourn this to April 26th, 2024 at
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay,
Come in person.
yes, you
Okay.
need to be here because I know this wouldn't work over Zoom. And so I'm gonna be looking for the CMA and then the 800 that you were gonna borrow from your sister. I'm gonna be looking at getting a status about all of that. Got it? Okay. Something doesn't come through, there's not gonna be a whole lot I can do. Follow me? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sycamore Meadows versus Denicia McGuire. I don't know if I pronounced that first name right. This Denisha. I tried to put an extra syllable. Your name?
Denasia McGuire.
All right.
I show 5485, but it's probably, you probably have 5484 because that's the way it's been going today for me.
Yeah, because everybody's tacking on $1.
I know, Judge. I did speak with
That's like
Miss,
the man stamp on it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I spoke with Miss McGuire. She does have an SER with DHS. She has not gone to Hawk.
You haven't called Hawk?
I attempted to call them, I say back in February, but they said that they were booked out with appointments until late March.
Okay. Um. can I- What's her monthly rent?
I gave her the ledger. I believe it's 468 is the amount that I'm showing on the ledger now. And I did give her.
Okay, that's fine. It's 460, her monthly rent's 468. Okay, so this is just going on my experience and what I'm worried about. I'm worried about how her number is so high. What happened?
Yeah,
And because this is, and I'm talking also on the other case, there's a couple of other cases. Sycamore,
yeah.
typically they won't be this high.
Right, I understand.
And Judge, on her ledger, when I saw, I'm sorry, I gave her a copy, so I don't,
You have your copy?
she has it. I gave it to her, so because she said she needed a copy and was having difficulty getting a copy, so I gave
Okay,
my
thank you.
copy. And I'll have to go to my client. The reason why I'm saying that is because it looks to me like this ledger starts in February and a balance of $4,195 was carried over. And so to answer your question, I'm gonna have to dig deeper.
Okay, so I'm not here to cause any problems, or maybe I am. Sycamore had, I want to say maybe this is the third set of attorneys that have been representing Sycamore recently.
Okay, I
Okay.
didn't know that, obviously.
No, and I'm not expecting you to, and I'm not saying that there's anything bad about that. People
Yeah.
do whatever they
Right.
do. My understanding also is that there was a change in management.
Yes.
When the change in management happened, I think I'm old and don't remember stuff. No. But when the change in management happened and with the last sets of council, and maybe even the one before that, they were concerned because the numbers couldn't be figured out as some of these tenants were moving forward. So what I was getting before were adjournments on the Sycamore Meadows cases because they needed to go back and try to figure out particularly the recertification issues.
Okay,
along with that, if I'm recalling correctly, there was not only a change in management, but a change, the person in the office who had been there quite a while, who would know some of these things, sort of that
And she's no longer
mental
there.
history, she's not
They're
there.
not there.
So people were able to even get a verbal answer about what may have happened with some of the tenants.
Okay.
Now, I say all of that because the folks that have shown up on Sycamore Meadows, and I probably should have maybe said this earlier, but I didn't look at all the numbers. I'm concerned because if, for example, in this case, her rent is almost 5,500. If the research and everything else and everything's done right, that means she hasn't paid for a year.
Well, my dilemma, it would be the 4195. I think the 468.
Correct. I know,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, part of what my concern is that what you see as their beginning balance at a certain point,
Mhm.
I don't know I don't know if that's correct,
I understand.
Okay.
because it may be,
Mm.
I don't know, but somebody's gonna have to, I think, show me that
More than-
somebody's
more
gone
than what I
back
have.
and, pardon?
More than what I have.
Yeah, exactly, that somebody's
Yeah.
gone back and that somebody, and I'm not saying that your client did this, but I've known this to happen in the past where counsel's there, they're asking questions because the court's asking questions,
Right.
and then they move someplace else and say, yeah, here's our beginning balance.
Right.
And you guys may not know to ask the question.
Okay.
So, having said all of that,
I was gonna ask to adjourn it anyways.
Yeah,
because I
that's
wanted
what
her
we're-
to be, no, that was the conversation. And hopefully she'll,
I also have, I work, I don't work all 12 months of the year. I work only 10 months. I work with the school district.
gotcha.
So I've been, before the situation with the last people happened, I gave them, I have to give them a note every year. And they somehow keep saying that they're not getting it. And I will drop.
So you work 10 months, but don't get paid 12. You work 10 months, get paid 10.
Yes.
And so then when you come up to those 2 months that you're not getting paid, you're giving them something saying my income's zero.
No, it's not to zero. They won't not get that.
No, what I'm saying, your income.
Yeah.
You're giving them something to say, I'm not working,
Yes,
which should send your rent down,
yes.
but it's not sending your rent down.
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
That's,
So
that was,
week-
that was the biggest issue.
Judge, I was actually, she needs to upload the ledger that she has to SER, to the
Yes.
SER, because they were asking for that. That's part of the reason I gave her the ledger. So if you want to do 1 week, we can do that. Then it keeps us in April. We talked about 2 weeks, but I don't
Yeah,
know if
that
we
would
want to
get us
go
to
and
May, but-
then it might, I know.
Okay, so, here's the other thing. If this balance, just put it this way, and it may work, but you're not on a housing choice voucher, this is site-based.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
You're not on a housing choice voucher, you're just site-based.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Amy's done, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjourn this out a week.
Okay.
What I need you to do is I need you to call Hawk.
Oh, okay. I will-
Okay.
That's- yes.
What time?
At 11 a.m.
At 11 a.m. I'm gonna turn it out to that day. I need you to call Hawk. They're gonna give you an appointment date.
Okay,
Just take the appointment,
okay,
okay?
yes,
It's gonna be June, July. I don't know. Just
Okay.
take the appointment date.
yes, sir.
Okay, I won't figure out anything. Amy, who does an extraordinary job, will figure something out.
Okay,
And that way we can at least have something on that end.
okay,
All right, with the idea that if there's something, when council and everybody digs back and maybe there's something wrong with the research or something along those lines, that if you're at a certain figure, there might be assistance there to get that caught up
Okay,
and then let you move forward.
okay. Okay.
Sound
Yes, that sounds,
okay? Sounds like a plan. I don't know if it'll work, but with that.
Sounds good. Judge.
thank you.
And just to clarify in your brain, the two other ones that we did, the one was a $71 balance, so that's not an issue on that one. The other one was the $10,000 balance, but he's just turning in
moving,
keys.
right.
So
So,
I'm just making sure, because you said, I probably should have thought about this before.
well, I
but
probably should have said something, but I didn't. But then when I thought about it.
Those are the reasons why.
Yeah, right. Court calls the case of Barnes and Barnes versus Mohammed Algahim.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
They
They are not.
have not checked in. Would you like to take a fault?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff. I did check the records on this case this morning. It's 1998 in rent, 230 in cost for 2228.
2228.
Yes.
Judgment to the plaintiff that is by default for possession and let me see. I don't have any appearance.
He appeared last week, didn't he?
I can't read Judge Barr's notes. Default judgment writ, default setup, defendant appeared late, so they did appear, so I will grant you a money judgment.
That's right. He showed up at my office, not in court. We sent him and I'd already entered a default because I didn't know. And he
Right, and then
they set the default.
somehow they did appear in court, but appeared late, which is why it's before me, so I'll grant the money judgment.
Thank you.
Non-payment of rent by default. Writ to issue 10 days. Our Apartments versus Coco Suma.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
They're on Zoom. Coco Suma. You need to unmute. Really?
Sorry, sir, I'm here.
Okay, state your name.
Kokosuma Kobina Basuma.
Okay. And what's the claim in this case?
3470 in rent, 252.70 in costs for 3722.70.
And how are you intending on getting that paid?
I am working. I would like a payment plan if possible, but you can only do what you can do.
Have you talked to your landlord about that?
We had a payment plan arranged, but I have not spoken to her since she filed.
Okay, so when's the last time you made a payment?
The last payment that I made was $500 right before I was served. After that, I've just been saving because I don't know if I have to
So,
move. Yes, sir.
If you've been saving, how much do you have now?
I have, hold on, I can tell you, sir. I have 500, then 300. I have, I believe, 700 saved right now.
Did you? I just have a note here, but I don't have, did you apply for state emergency relief?
I did apply. Unfortunately, I was not approved.
Okay, so that's already taken care of.
Yes,
And you've
sir.
been denied.
Yes,
All right. And you said you have 700?
yes, sir.
What I'm gonna do is today's 19th, it'd be 29th. You're gonna have to try to arrange something with your landlord. I'm gonna suggest that you call Hawk to see if they can assist you.
Okay,
But right now, I'm gonna find that there's no tribal issue. I'm gonna enter a judgment for possession and money in the amount prayed for, which is 3722. 70. I will give you until the end of the month to get that paid.
Okay,
So I'll give you till April 30th at least to lock the figure in. And you'll have to get with your landlord and Hawk to see if something can be arranged for you, okay? But I'd
Okay.
get the 700 to your landlord at least to cut the figure down.
okay,
All right?
okay. So no writ at this time, sir? It would
I'm
be a
sorry?
writ well, I'm just trying to plan ahead. I'm wheelchair bound, so I have to be able to, I don't want to wind up on the street or my stuff on the street. So if we don't come to an agreement by the 30th, I would have 10 days, correct, sir? Before
Well,
eviction.
you have 10 days. No.
Okay,
You
10
have to
days
the
now.
30th to come to some agreement and or
Okay.
vacate the premise, or they can file a writ, I should say.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
Okay, thank
Arbor One versus Aaron Flowers.
Carol Walkup on behalf of the plaintiff.
She's in Zoom. Hello. Can you state your name?
Hi. Yep, Aaron Flowers. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks. You're kind of different. All right. Okay. Last time we were here, I had 2184.10.
Yes, that's correct. And I
Okay.
know, Your Honor,
Go
there was a
ahead.
question about the defendant being able to enter the office. So I know there's some communication with my office and Ms. Flowers, and Arbor One said that she could make a payment by leaving it in the Dropbox, and I believe, I don't know what happened from there.
Ms.
So I
Flowers,
don't-
did you make a payment?
I have not made a payment. I did get in contact with Attorney Lucker, one of her representatives in her office. Because I was just trying to explain to her about the I haven't been able to make a payment. It wasn't just me not paying it, but me and one of the office managers had kind of like got into an argument because it was like a lot of issues going on. Like they cut the water off. It was just like a whole bunch of issues going on. Like I couldn't get inside my building. They keep locking the doors. They cutting the water off. They not communicating anything. And we got into like an argument or whatever like that. And after that, she locked me out of my account and she banned me from the office. So I can't go into the office. So my whole thing was like, it wasn't, communicated with me how I was supposed
Okay.
to,
All right. All right. Let's do this. How much do you have to pay?
So the thing was, that's why I wanted to speak today. I wanted to ask because Attorney Luckoff sent me a ledger and it was just showing me like the breakdown of everything that just a breakdown. And I saw that they had applied late fees, and I kind of was trying to see if there was a way for those late fees to be taken off, being that it wasn't my fault that the late fees were applied when they locked me out of my payment website and they banned me from the location. So I just wanted to see if those could be taken off first before I wanted to get in contact with Hawk because I'm kind of upset. They want me to yeah, I just want to talk to Hawk first.
Okay, Ms. Flowers. That didn't answer my question. How much do you have to pay?
No, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't paying today. I was gonna get in contact with Hawk.
Okay, so you don't have anything to pay.
Not today, no.
Your Honor,
matriarch-
respectfully, if the assistance hasn't been applied for at this juncture, I don't believe there should be any stay of the proceedings.
Is there a reason you didn't apply to Hawk before now?
So the thing when I went to court last week with Judge Barr, I was trying to explain to them situation and everything, but it was kind of like he just said like the that type of judge, like it wasn't for that, and then I will wait and discuss all of that with you, with the next judge.
That Your Honor, Judge Barr makes it clear about applying for rental assistance. I respectfully disagree with that characterization.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just. So here's my problem. I thought you were going to put the money into the Dropbox because you couldn't go into the office.
Yeah, so this was just informed to me 2 days ago. So I was gonna make a payment, but my the matriarch in my family just passed, so I had to send some money for that. for like the funeral cost and everything. So I didn't have it as of right now. I paid it today. But I mean, I could put something down. Like I could put like $200 down today. But, I mean,
Well, that's not gonna get us where we need to be. Okay, so ma'am, here's what I'm gonna do. Do you have the number for Hawk?
no, no.
All right, well, hold on a minute. Here's what we're gonna do. Because I have no tribal issue in this case. And so I'm gonna grant a judgment to the plaintiff for possession. And I have a total amount, let's look off of 2184.10.
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm gonna enter a judgment for that amount, $2,184.10. And the writ will not issue until, I'm gonna give you to the end of the month, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of extra time.
Okay.
And you need to talk to the individuals from Hawk. Your first step is gonna be to call. So do you have that number?
Yep, somebody just sent it to me right now.
Okay. You need to call that number and see what they can do for you and let them know that the court has issued a judgment, that you've got till the end of the month to get this paid, and see what they can do for you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. But
Everyone-
one thing, do I have to do you need me to come in next week? Like what day do I need to come back to court?
No,
Like,
I've issued the judgment, so you got to
Okay.
get that paid before this month ends.
Okay.
Okay? Townhomes on Robbie Lane versus Jamila Smith.
Thomas Friedman for the plaintiff.
Hello. What's your name? And where are we on this, Mr. Freeman? I think the last hearing, well, we did some other stuff here.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
But I have good news.
You have good news?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. I had agreed last time to pay the $1,400 on Monday. I did not pay that. At the 13th hour, I got confirmation from the other agencies that were helping me that they would help, and they're going to send correspondence to Miss Amy so that we can zero out this balance by Monday.
Okay. You lost me there. You were gonna pay 1,400, didn't pay the
I
1,400
did not.
because you got confirmation
Well,
from the
I didn't
other.
think that they were going to help me. I kept getting shut down and denials. But after talking to Miss Amy this morning, I talked to the 3 other agencies as well. And they wanted to know how much was Hawk going to contribute. And once we got those numbers together, they paid the rest. They're going to pay the rest. And I need to send confirmation to Miss Amy so that she can put in the paper.
Okay, Amy, you know anything about that?
Your Honor, if I can clarify, my understanding is she does qualify for the 3,000 given the guidelines. I just need that portion above. She has verbally said to me that a couple other community agencies will be helping with that balance. Early next week, she should have emails sent back to me that would at least confirm that. And then I'd be happy to put in that funding request for that majority portion to
Got it.
resolve all of this then.
Okay. And I have, I think 800
In escrow.
in escrow. So,
Can I add to that?
pardon?
Can I add to that? I got a call back from my job that I can return back to work. So going into May, there will be a payment made on the 2nd when I get paid through.
Okay. All right. Let's try to get you through this. So,
We're gonna get through this, sir.
well, I'm hoping.
Stay hopeful.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll adjourn this to the 26th. You're going to get that information to Amy,
Yes.
right? And then that way, once they have that, then she can put the check request in and hopefully we can get this all cleared up. And I've got 800 in the bank here. So,
I have a
Your Honor,
question for you.
Okay, Your Honor, I was just
Pardon?
wondering if she could put something more into escrow. I mean, I'm just kind of hanging out here.
I can, I'm holding on to
Hold it. Yeah. What's your monthly rent?
$890.
$890?
Yes, sir.
So how much more can you put into escrow?
$890
$890? You can do that when?
today.
Today? Okay, put $890 into escrow. And then we'll try to, if we get the back balance cleared up, it looks like we might be good going forward.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I've started training, I'm actually missing a day here, coming here.
So next week you want to appear by Zoom?
If it's paid off, do I have to come?
Oh, if everything's paid off, you don't have to be here. But you got to make sure everything's paid off, otherwise you're going to get a judgment.
Okay, well, I'll be in contact with Mr. Friedman. I call.
Okay, all right. Arbor One versus Donald Morlett.
Carol Walkoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
I'm here.
Okay, your name, sir?
Donald Morlett.
Okay. I had 314414 last hearing.
Yes, same balance. He did indicate on the record it was going to pay 1 month next week, which would be this week, but it does not look like that occurred, at least from what I can see.
Okay, sir. How were you intending on getting this paid?
I spoke with the office. I'll be back and forth in the hospital, so that's why I be falling behind. Last time I was in there, I was able to come up with the money because my disability insurance kicked in from my job, so I was able to make the necessary payments. I'm just waiting on them to they got my paperwork and everything, so I'm asking the court to just give me a couple weeks. I spoke with Amy while I was in the hospital.
Who has your paperwork?
The doctor filled out my paperwork so I can get my disability. So I'm just waiting any day for those checks to come. And I was just asking for a couple weeks. I spoke with Amy while I was in the hospital, and I also
you talked to Amy at the office?
Yeah. When I was in the hospital. She told me they was going to file anyway, and I'm good for it,
Your Honor, we're gonna be, it's 3144, his rent is 1350. He didn't mention any of this at the last hearing. He just said that he was gonna pay a month's rent this week, which he did not do.
How much is his monthly rent?
$1,350.
Okay, and I do have a note from Judge Barr that you were going to pay that. Is there a reason why that didn't get paid?
I'm back to work now, so I just had to get approved to go back to work. So I'm back to work now, but I got medical payments that's supposed to come in. So I thought they was going to come in last week for me to pay that 1 month, but I'm just asking for a couple weeks, and it all get paid.
Sir, here's the problem. Maybe under the circumstances, I wouldn't have a problem giving that 2 weeks. However, in 2 weeks, the amount that's going to be owed is going to be about $4,500.
In 2 weeks?
Yes.
Right, because in 2 weeks, your May rent is going to click in next Wednesday. Not this upcoming Wednesday, but next Wednesday, it's going to click in. And so then you're going to be up at the $4,500 number.
So I got payments coming through. It's going to be a big check. So
okay, let me ask you this.
But for sure,
is that big check going to you get that before the end of this month?
Yeah, it should be coming soon now.
Okay.
Your Honor, respectfully,
Here's
he's
what
already
I'm going to do. Everybody stop, because this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grant a judgment for possession on this figure, sir. It's not going to include your May rent. I'm
Okay.
gonna give you to the 30th to get that figure paid. So you gotta get that, the 314414 paid before the end of the month.
It'll be paid for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna find no tribal issue. I'm gonna enter a judgment for possession in that full amount of the 314414. You need to pay that, and I'm gonna give an additional day, so you need to pay that by the 30th of April. Got it?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you.